Technical glitches already in the afternoon. All right. Welcome to the Pissed Off Parent Show. I'm Dwayne Ward, your Pissed Off Parents. If you have seat, or I'm trying to think of the airline thing. I'm just trying to have a little bit of fun here. I got a little bit of time before my next series of meetings and some other stuff. So I caught wind of a new bill that's just got filed today by Mr. Mays Middleton in the Senate. Senate Bill number 1702. For those that care, I'll actually throw it up on the board here and kind of doing a quick just run through of what the bill is and all that. And you can take that information and work with it and do what you need to do. So actually, it's Mays Middleton. I'm assuming his child. I don't know him personally, but he's a gentleman that put in HB 803 last go around just to kind of bring everyone up to speed on who Mays Middleton is. Looks like as of today, today's the 7th. So he has introduced a Senate Bill 1707. And we'll go ahead and get right into it and read through the bill, and then you can kind of go from there. So the title of this is relating to the orders providing for the conservatorship of or possession of and access to a child by the child's parents in a suit affecting the parent-child relationship. That is a code word for kind of trying to do an equal shared parenting bill. So just kind of jumping down into it. So, just has, again, the normal language that we have about amending the code. And it has right here in section 101.0122, the equal parenting order. Equal parenting order means, what does it mean? An order that provides both parents of a child who are joint managing conservators with equal rights, or with rights of equal or nearly equal periods of physical possession of and access to the child in accordance with section 153135. So it's kind of, again, I'm breezing through parts of this, trying to make it quick for anyone that's just wanting to get the down and dirty on this one. It just, again, talks about equal rights, and then talking about, promote amicable settlement disputes between the parties, yada, yada, yada. It does include, variations from the equal or nearly equal periods of physical possession as provided by the equal parenting order under section 135.130 or 153.135. I feel a little dyslexic there because, as we all know, last session we did move from the standard possession order to expanded standard being the kind of the baseline. Of course, the judge can do whatever they want to do, and I've been seeing actually in the court cases that I watch, even as recently as a week ago, I'm still seeing judges ordering standard possession. They, of course, they do talk about the first, third, and the fifth, and the basic, the typical standard language. So it looks like it's not catching on, or these judges aren't doing anything with that. But getting into the meat, more of the meat of the bill. Again, we talked about that. We're talking about giving them equal or near equal. There's also the rebuttable presumption piece of it that's been put in there. The appointment of the parents of the child's joint managing conservators with equal rights of possession of and access to the child. And this is the part of it, and I did read once before we jumped on here, this whole best interest of the child. And, the joke is there is no best interest of the child. It's not defined anywhere. Some people talk about factors, but again, it's a loosey-goosey thing that anyone does whatever they want to with it. But getting back to the text here of the bill, we have equal parenting order for joint managing conservators. Notwithstanding any other provision of this chapter and except as otherwise provided by this section, if the court renders an order under section 153.134 appointing both parents of a child as joint managing conservators, the court shall render an equal parenting order providing for equal or nearly equal periods of physical possession of and access to the child to each of the managing conservators, unless the court determines and enters findings of fact on the record specifying that an equal parenting order is unworkable or inappropriate due to the work schedule or other special circumstances of a managing conservator or the child or the school schedule of the child, or equal or nearly equal periods of physical possession and access are not in the best interest of the child. There's that best interest of the child thing. If the court determines under subsection A that the equal parenting order is unworkable or inappropriate or not in the best interest of the child, the court may enter a standard possession order under subchapter F, including an expanded standard possession order under section 153.3171. So basically, it gives the judge what they want to do. There is, reference to the findings of fact, which then you can use to preserve the record to take that to appeal. Just a little bit of non-law or law knowledge from a non-lawyer. Take it for what it's worth. That basically, when you're in court and you you're going to lose or whatever, everything you're trying to do is to preserve the record. Get it on the record, because when you go to appeals and to appeal it in the appellate court, they will only look at those things that have been preserved in the record. They won't look at, I've got new information, or I've got this, or I've got that. All they're going to do is review what is preserved in the record, and only to the limit of like the other judge screwed up, and we all know how that goes and what they'll do and that stuff. So it's not this big whatever. It's they're going to protect each other. So getting back here, let me just make sure I kind of strayed off a little bit here. I may end up rereading this part again. Apologies. I've been doing a lot of other stuff here, so trying to keep my head straight. Equal or nearly equal periods of physical possession of the next is not the best interest of the child. Court determined. Okay, yeah, we've already read that. Okay, if the court finds the standard possession order is unworkable or inappropriate, the court may modify the standard possession order as provided by section 153.253. If the court finds that the standard possession order is not in the best interest of the child, the court may render an order that the court finds to be in the best interest of the child as provided by section 153.256. Again, that just basically means that judge, as we all know, can do whatever the heck they want to do. This law, bill, whatever, does not change their ability to do whatever the heck they want. So now the only other piece here, which I don't know if it's in that or it's down further, is in section C. The court shall run an order appropriate under the circumstances for the possession of a child less than 3 years of age, as provided by section 153.254a, which does not need to provide equal or nearly equal periods of possession of or access to a child to both joint managing conservatives. The court shall render a prospective order to take effect on the child's third birthday, which presumptively will be an equal parenting order. Okay, so what they're basically trying to say is that the tender years doctrine, I think, is commonly known as, where they say that they belong with mom. I mean, if we want to go with the tender years doctrine, then we need to go ahead and look at all of the evidence on this and basically show that after a child reaches about 7 years old, they actually really don't need to be around the mom. I know it's going to offend probably everybody, but the research and the data is what it is. Be upset with the data, not with the person saying it. But when you look at, when a child in their development and happiness and all that, it is true. The earlier years, they benefit more as opposed to, in certain situations, or not in certain situations, but if you look at it on the whole, they, do derive more benefit from being with the mother more, but after a certain age, which is right around 7 years old, is pretty much exclusively fathers. They actually get really no benefit from the mom in their development on out. And again, if we want to be honest with ourselves, you just kind of think back and think, as that child's getting older, what are the things that that both parents would provide that will the child will need and benefit from. So yeah, if they want to do the 3 year thing, they should really do like from 1 to 3. Mom gets primary, has the child most of the time. Dad's the weekend warrior with a standard or expanded standard or expanded basic, whatever. And then like when they're 3, go ahead and go to equal shared parenting, because that actually does kind of follow along with the research. And then when the child turns 7, to pretty much put the mother on standard possession order, just so she can have just first, third, and fifth weekends each month. Well, this is what the dad's 94, 5, 6% of the time. That's what we have at this point in Texas across the board. So I guess if we want to go with the science, that's kind of what we should put in there. Can't imagine why that would not be in there. All right. So, okay, this guideline established in the standard possession order are intended to guide the courts in ordering the terms and conditions for possession of a child by a parent named as possessory conservator or as the minimum possession for a joint managing conservator if the court does not render an equal parenting order under section 153.135. Talking about, if they don't render that. And that's pretty much it. All right. So, kind of the key takeaways for this. I'm going to try to keep this one short because I've got a lot of other stuff going on. I just want to, again, to get this information out as soon as possible. Again, it was filed today. I would say, as far as bills, this is a Senate bill. So we have David Cook's other equal shared parenting bill that's in the House. Obviously, two different people wrote it. It's not like the retroactive child support where they're all basically carbon copies of each other with like the word equity in half removed, but a whole different funny topic. Looks like Middleton did his own bill and then David Cook did his own bill. So at least we have one in both areas, both chambers. In case one fails, we can actually look to the other one. I know I'm curious to see what people think about that. I mean, I look at Texas, the big picture and all that. Others may look at it for their individual circumstances. I don't believe it has a thing where it becomes automatic. I think it's going to be it takes effect September 1, 23, and then change the law maybe that applies as pending. All right. So as of September 1, if you're pending in court, it's not an automatic change or something like that. You would have to go back to court in order to make those changes. But anyway, yeah, I'm interested to hear what kind of people think about what we're calling the equal shared parenting bill in the Senate. There are parts of it I like, obviously. That it's basically saying that I did hear somebody talk about like a 50-mile radius or something like that, but there's nothing that I saw in here when I looked at it, unless you have to dig further into the code to get that information. I know David Cook's mentioned a 20-mile radius. And so I don't know what the kind of the ins and outs of if there is such a thing. I don't want to provide misinformation, kind of like working with what I got here. We got a comment here. Apologize, I'm going to probably butcher your name, Asia Hunter. I asked Judge Shelton in 279 at what age he believes 50-50 is in the best interest, and he said that he thinks it's a great idea when parents agree, good God, but orders expanded standard every time they don't. Well, again, his retirement is, going to be dependent upon those Title 4D funds. That's they're trying to push the paper as much as everybody else, and of course they know about the Title 4D funding and all the other pieces that I've talked about quite a bit. If you haven't had an opportunity, or if you're like Title 4, what the heck is that? I would invite you to go to this link here is actually to my website, YouTube channel, all that stuff for Pissed Off Parent. You can go there, free, and every bit of it's free. There's a cartoon, actually a lot of information, but a cartoon that kind of walks you through what Title 4D, how it got to where it is, and why judges and lawyers and everybody else are all over it, along with some Texas stats that would be on the website specifically. Actually, I have a whole section dedicated to Texas info. Let me just pop it up here. And that can get you that. But yeah, they're going to just do the basics. And of course, I got to have that Title 40 funds coming in. The whole agree part, that, I mean, if parents were agreeing, I mean, and it does happen, they wouldn't be in a contentious divorce. They wouldn't be, they wouldn't be broken up. They wouldn't be having those issues. So it's just kind of silly. Yeah. Here, if you go to the Pissed Off Parent website, I have a section that's pretty well dedicated. Actually, it is dedicated to Texas. So you can actually look up the penal codes. You can look up, get free law help. Specifically, I think I have it linked directly to the divorce and custody and all that stuff. The breakdown, actually I need to update the breakdown because it's actually gotten worse. I need to redo that. And actually the 2503 stuff, but you got the family code, the non-custodial handbook, the state budget. I talk, and please do the research and prove me wrong. I dare you, but this is where the Texas budget is. You can go in there, pull the information up yourself, see the lines where Title 4D funding is, what that magic number is, and do the math. I mean, it's all right there. I have Follow the Money link there. You can type in your judge and see who's contributing to their campaign. and actually all of our politicians, and see who's got them bought and paid for. And then, of course, the Judiciary Statistical Report. That'll be comedy for you. Just let you know that they protect their own child custody in plain English, and that kind of breaks it down and gives you some additional information, some important case law. Williams versus Patton. Pretty much everyone has that, and I believe this is from NPO, the parent tax, that kind of like breaks it down in a different format for people. So it's just something to look at. Hey there. Let's see. Hey, Pop. Hello. Hope everybody's having a good day here. Yeah, I can have an invite there, and I would say, for Mays overall, I'm not having too much heartburn over it. Will they go anywhere? I'm a pessimist on these topics because I've been in this for 10 years, and I have about 20 some odd years worth of data on Texas laws specifically. On how things work at the legislative level and the things they do. So, I'm not hopeful. I'd love to see it happen, but maybe if enough people get involved and decide to, voice their concerns or congratulations or whatever, they can do that. I would say maybe at this point, I've mentioned on other shows, but I have a link up here called Who Represents Me. And I guess what I would ask to do, kind of an action item for everybody, it takes just a few seconds. As you would go to, you click on that link, and then you can type in your address, where you live, and it'll tell you all of your representatives that are in that you're their constituent. And then you can actually then click on email. Their email address will have that information. When you click on those links, and you can send them a message saying, "Hey, why don't you support, co-sponsor?" Offer congratulations, and actually for Mays, I would say send him a note thanking him for putting this bill out there. There's a lot of it. Again, it's not perfect. None of them are, but we got equal parenting. We got the findings of fact, the rebuttable presumption. If anyone ever wanted to know like what I would want the perfect bill to be, and it's just one of those things that. If I was king for a day, I would have a part in there about the false domestic violence and stuff like that. That there was going to be penalties for doing that. We actually just had a jury trial today. I think the verdict came out where mom and the boyfriend actually, unfortunately, ended the life of their daughter, and the father was there trying to expressing his concern. The boyfriend got life. She got 50 years. I don't know how that, well, I do know how that worked, but that's kind of the thing there. So you got some more comments here. Do you know if this new bill is from David Green? Do you know if this new bill, since it's coming from the Senate, does it have to go to the JJFI committee in the House? It actually follows a different process, my understanding. Don't spend a whole lot of time in the Senate. That's a good thing. Off the top of my head, I can't remember how all the little cogs work. But I will do a quick look and provide that information in a future podcast. I'll try to do that after my upcoming meeting. But yeah, thank you for that question. Let's see here. Dwayne, maybe we should do this legislative review on a Dad Talk show, and we can have those viewers call legislative at the same time during the live show. Yeah, just to, excuse me. I've kind of toe tapped around it. I've talked about it, but real quickly. I know that excuse me. You'll not see that on Dad Talk today. I think everybody knows that, I co-host a number of different shows and help out where I can. Dad Talk today is, excuse me, Eric Carroll's. That's his show. Obviously, I think yesterday he was doing a thing on Jeff Younger, which is specific to Texas. But I really try to kind of blur that line. I'm sorry, not blur the line. Keep it an exact thing to where Dad Talk today does his stuff. He's got kind of his plans and goals. There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes and all that, and I kind of keep this separate from that. And I don't say interfere, but I don't get too involved with it. Obviously, you're friends. We talk about it, but I definitely try to keep those two things separate and not. I just don't want to turn the Dad Talk Today show into a Texas thing. Obviously we talk about stuff when we're on the show together. He'll ask a question because he does have a spot in his heart for the Texas guys. And I'll, obviously provide information there. But as far as like, directing him to do a specific show or something, that's I have a very process oriented brain. So I keep that very separate. But again, on the Pissed Off Parent Show, which is again streaming to a number of different channels. And actually, I've got plans for some other stuff going on, which should be coming out here at some point in the future. We'll be maybe broadening those horizons. We'll see how that goes. But I do keep those separate. But yeah, no, thank you for tuning in and all that good stuff. Hopefully I make it edutainment for everybody and everybody enjoys that. I would, kind of drag on. We got a few more comments and stuff, but actually to show you how unprofessional I am, I've got a meeting in 30 seconds that I have to jump on and lead. So I won't be able to do that. I'm hoping to get some more information out there as it comes up and becomes available. I'll answer David Green's question in a future podcast or put it in some notes or something. So we have that. And again, educating and hopefully having a little bit of fun there. So until then, hope everybody has a good rest of your day, and I will talk to